Welcome back to the program. Joining me now is the Daily Telegraph's Tim Blair. And Tim, thanks for joining us this evening. I want to head straight over to the United States, where Sarah Rogers, who's a senior figure within Donald Trump's administration, she's raised privacy concerns around the introduction of digital ID in Britain. And it was funny because she actually said, especially by a government that prosecutes footballers for tweets, does this scheme pose huge security risks?
Well, I think we're yet to discover the technical sort of aspects of it. It certainly wouldn't be helping Britain's image worldwide when it comes to emotional and, I guess, penitentiary risks. They are locking people up. People get locked up all the time in the UK, sometimes for tweets which are seen by maybe two people. And any resistance that the Trump administration is putting up to this is all for the good. And it's something I think we should watch very closely in Australia.
Well, over in the UK, the King, he is causing quite a stir in a UK village. Can you tell our viewers what is it that he's doing?
Yes, well, he's famous for talking to plants, and now he's involving fertilizer in his discussion. As people who live on the land know, and as people who deal with gardeners who are a bit too fond of blood and bone, fertilizer's got a bit of a scent to it, and the villagers aren't too happy. It's interesting to read some of their comments too, because they do sound as though they've got a bit of a social media pressure on them. When you get locked up for tweets, what the hell's going to happen to you if you get stuck into the King over fertilizer-related issues? Probably not anything good.
I did read some of those lines, and a lot of them said, "Oh no, he can cut off my head. Oh no, I can't say anything. We won't speak about it."
They're not joking. It's all serious.
No, exactly,
Yeah, absolutely.
exactly. I also just wanted to get your thoughts on the Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu's meeting today. And Netanyahu had some really strong words about the US being a friend to Israel. And I was watching this interaction and I thought, what lessons should the Australian government take from this? Is this how you should be treating your allies?
Well, absolutely. I think what we see as well with Trump and Netanyahu, two of the most vilified human beings on the planet, certainly over the last 50 odd years. Yet they're getting things done. They've achieved in the face of great hostility and enormous loss of life in Netanyahu's case in Israel. They have achieved victories and some stability from situations that often looked as though they were going towards, WW3 sort of territory. So I think the fact that they're now taking a little bit of a minor victory lap is all to the good. And I think people should, in Australia, given our own current situation, should look to these guys for a bit more guidance instead of hating on them all the time.
And what did you make about Trump's comments where he said that they will be disarming Hamas? Do you think Hamas will be listening and actioning? Because Trump did sound like he wasn't messing around.
Oh, you can say a lot of things about Hamas, but one thing you can't say is that they're not media literate. They do tend to focus, they do tend to pay a lot of attention to what is said about them. They follow the media very closely. Of course, they have a lot of friends in the media. And so they'll have noticed this. They'll have paid attention. Of course, one thing we're going to be concerned about in Australia is any ex-Hamas people or people who are very sympathetic to Hamas. We've got to be alert to them even now, even after Bondi Beach and even after the greater attention on our immigration thing. We've got to be alert to people like that showing up here and potentially being welcomed at the airport by members of this ridiculous Australian government.
I know, wasn't that just awful scenes? Well, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, he's back in the headlines, Tim, this time over connections to convicted sexual offender Peter Nygaard. Now, Peter is currently serving 11 years for sexual assault and also facing sex trafficking charges. What can you tell us about Andrew's link to Peter?
All he has is links. Every time that the form of Prince Andrew is brought up, it's not in good circumstances. He's brought it all about himself. And I know that defenders of Andrew say, well, he's a creature of his era, he's a creature of his time. But even in his time, these weren't things that you should have been getting away with. The only reason he ever got away with them was because he was from a royal family. If anyone below his station had behaved the way he has done for decades, they wouldn't have the liberty that we're now seeing him. They wouldn't be walking around like that, quite so cozy and comfortable. They might have a few bars in front of their face for a bit longer.
Tim, just quickly before I let you go, is there any update on Trump's lawsuit with the BBC?
I'm hanging out for that one. That is great.
You and me both.
Yes, I know. This is, I mean, it's likely to be one of Trump's warning shots. It's something that he does. He fires off the legal threats and then watches people squirm around uncomfortably as they realise the economic gravity of their mistakes. And then things don't proceed any further, except people sort of learn that, this could go in a very wrong sort of way. Let's see how it goes, because every so often, especially in the US with these lawsuits, there is a result, and the Trump Museum adds a new wing to it. The eventual Trump Museum is getting bigger by the day.
You're absolutely right. Well, Tim, thank you so much for your time this evening. We'll speak to you again soon.